Hey, precious people, how's everyone doing today? If this is your first time watching any of my videos, I welcome you. My name is Precious Nwadiaro, and today we are relating on something that is very sensitive because it has to do with our children and us as parents. But today my focus is on little children because the Bible said, train up a child in the way he should go. And when the Bible says child, I believe that what God was trying to talk to us about is the children between, from 2, 3 to around 6, 7, 8, because this is the formative stage of a child's life. So what do you do when a 7-year-old child comes and asks you about, mommy, what is sex? Or when a child that is 9 comes and asks you things about sex or things that are, that are mature for their age? What do you do? How do you tackle it? So for us that are younger parents, this video is particularly for us. I was watching a video some time ago, and this girl, I think she was around 10, and she asked her mother, she said, mommy, what is sex? And the mother, she's a believer, she's a Christian, so she shoots the child, and she said, keep quiet. Who told you about sex? How can you ask me that kind of question? You are a child, you're not supposed to be asking those kind of questions. Go to your room and go and read your Bible and go and pray. How can you ask that kind of question? And she pretty much shut this child down. And then she went to the market. When she came back from the market, her child was bleeding. Blood everywhere. The child couldn't walk. And she asked the child what happened. And the child said, mommy, when you went to the market, and I was asking uncle is her own brother. Blood brother, the same mother, the same father. And I asked uncle what is sex because I really wanted to know. And all my friends are talking about it, so I asked uncle. And uncle went and showed me what is sex. So what happened? The brother had sex with his niece and took away this child's innocence for life. When I watched this really hit me really hard because there are things that us parents have to sometimes put on our big girls and big boys panties and teach our children. There are things that we don't really want to talk to them about. But when they start asking those questions, especially when you have inquisitive children that are very curious, you have to know your children, know the ones that are a little bit withdrawn, the ones that are curious, that are out there. Study their personalities. The ones that are curious, you have to be prepared to ask the questions when they come. My 7-year-old last week was asking me, he said, mommy, we're getting married. I'm like, who is getting married? He said, you and me. I said, oh, no, we can't get married. I'm already married to your dad. I asked him, first of all, how do you even know about getting married and not getting married? He said, yeah, I watched the wedding video and my friends talk about it in school and the TV. I'm like, what TV? Because I know you guys only watch children program. So where did you get this from? It's a lot of things that our children learn that does not come from us, the parents, that does not come from our house. Sometimes it's from cousins, it's from relatives, it's from school that these children hear these things. And the normal thing is for these children to come home and ask you. And we have to make ourselves a safe place that your child can come and ask you anything without being scared that you will shut them down or that you will scold them so much that next time they will go and ask a stranger. Because the truth is the truth, and the truth can never change. Is when your child asks you questions and you as a parent you become so timid or you're shy or you're mad and you don't tell your child the truth, the child will go outside and learn it from somebody else. And oftentimes they learn it the wrong way. They get the wrong information. So it is for us. So when you see your child asking you that question, I told my son, I said, number one, you are too little for you to be asking me wedding or no wedding. Wedding is for mommy and dad, is for grown-ups, number one. Number two, when you hear your friends talking about things like this, I want you to excuse yourself. Even if you're playing on the swing or anywhere, I want you to just walk away from them because such discussions is not what you should be listening to. Do you hear me? He said, yes, mommy. I said, and number three, you will get married when the time comes, but that will be a long time. I asked, how old are you now? He said 7. I said, good. So that will be almost 30 years from now. He's like, woo. I said, yep. Then you're going to go to school, go to college, get your degree, get a house, get a car, get a job, get money so you can feed yourself. He said, wow. I'm like, yes. Now I'm talking to a 7-year-old. in a way that I know he can understand. But this is me trying to teach him, because the truth is the truth. Once a child opens his mouth and asks you some grown-up question, it's time for you to give him a little bit of the grown-up answer. And what this does is this creates a relationship. That is the main issue. It creates a relationship between you and your child, that your child can come. Like when I was growing up, there's a lot of things I heard about sex, and I would always go home, and because I was a very, very inquisitive child, I used to ask a lot of questions, and I would ask my mom a lot of questions. I went to my, I told me, I asked my mom. She said, no, sex is this. Sex is when a man touches, those your private part. I said, nobody should touch. I said, yes, mommy. She said, yes, sex is when a man touches, or a woman, because even women touch. And I went to girls' school at first. She said, when somebody touches you here or touches you here, that is part of sex. That is sexual distance. So, number one, us parents have to teach our children as early as possible. 2-3 years old. If a child can know, this is my nose and this is my eye, it's time for you to teach the child, this is my private part. If it's pee-pee, you call it. If it's peenie, you call it. Whatever it is, you call it in your home. You teach this child, this place is private. And every single year, go over those body parts. Nobody should touch my hair unless I'm showering. Nobody should to kiss me on the lips. This place are private. God made this place private, and nobody should pull my panties down. If anybody does it, I will tell mommy, I will tell daddy, I will tell the teacher, I will tell a Christian around me. I will scream, I will shout, I will kick, I will say I don't like it, and no matter what they say, make sure you tell mommy. But first of all, are you a safe place for your children to run to you and say, this is what somebody did to me? And when they say that, what do you do to defend them? To defend who did this to them? What do you do? So that they don't feel like they don't matter. Because many children right now are suffering this. I know instances they are suffering this because the parent that was supposed to protect them was not around, and because the children did not feel like they could go to their parents to tell their parents when something is aching them. It is for us to build a relationship between us and our children. No matter how spiritual you are, there are certain things you should teach your child as early as possible, because the world that we live in has always been a corrupt world, but right now it is getting worse and worse, and you don't even know where it is coming from. Sometimes it is your own brother that will tamper with your children. Sometimes it is your own sister. Sometimes it's a babysitter. It's a teacher. As early as possible, teach your children things about their body parts. Teach them things that nobody should touch. Go over it time and time again in a playful way. Remind them all these things that nobody should touch, and build a relationship with your children. And even when you have grown-up children, that's a different video, because even when you have grown-up children, you should be able to be a safe place for your child to come to you. There are many times I would have been in serious trouble, but if my mother was not my safe place, I say because I'm a living experience, a living testimony, that I could always run to my mother. As much as she wants to scold me, first of all, she will handle the matter, and then she will teach me, and tell me, this is what you should have done, this is what you shouldn't have done, and this and this and this. And even me that thought she was going to spank me, she will not even spank me, because in this case, she is more terrified than mad. So we should know how to place our anger. It's not everything we get angry about. There are certain things that as parents, we bring our mind down. When you're supposed to spank or beat them, that's not the time to beat them. That's the time for you to draw them in, take them into the room, close the door, and talk to them. Let it enter. Because many times force is short term, but when you use power in a neutral way, it kind of makes these children to understand that, oh, mommy and daddy really cares about me. So what I want to tell us today is, teach your children their body parts. If you have already done it, go over it again. Tell them things that nobody should touch, things that should be private. Make yourself a safe place. Many children are hurting with nobody to talk to, talking to strangers that will end up showing them or taking away their innocence. It is our duty as parents to protect our children. Point blank, period. It's no excuse, because God has entrusted them into our hands. My precious people, I hope this video has touched us today. And I just want us to know that our children are inheritance from God. They are supposed to be protected. And I know that God will give us the grace, because it takes wisdom to raise a child, especially in this modern time. It takes wisdom to raise a child, and God will give us that wisdom. I love you, my precious people. I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.